Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video basically just telling you how excited I am for the Beatles' White Album 50th Anniversary Deluxe Edition that's going to be released. It was just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, right? Where they released all the details, officially released all the details of what you're going to get in all the different packages. Obviously, the most exciting thing is the newly remixed and remastered album by Giles Martin. And they're giving it the same treatment they did the Sgt. Pepper 50th anniversary, which, as I'm sure a lot of you know if you watch my channel, I absolutely loved and still continue to love that release. It's just, it sounds so good. All the bonus stuff is great. The vinyl pressing was fantastic. So just, it was a really well done package, and I know that's how the White Album is going to be as well. I'm holding up, this is the mono reissue they put out in 2014, I think it was, which sounds great, by the way. But this 50th anniversary edition of the White Album has really got me excited, even more so than Sgt. Pepper. I love Sgt. Pepper, but as maybe a lot of you know, it's not one of my top Beatle albums, but I love it. But the White Album is one of my top Beatle albums. It's just such a fantastic piece of work, and just for me personally growing up, it was just on constantly. My mom and dad played it a whole bunch. I listened to it on my own a bunch. I have just vivid memories of, it was one of the first records I ever listened to with headphones on my dad's record player. I remember like taking it out and just putting it on the table, putting the needle down and just hearing that intro to Back in the USSR, and it was just like, just mind-blowing, as I'm sure you've all had that same experience. So to have this 50th anniversary reissue coming out November 9th, it's just really exciting. And they released 3 songs yesterday on Spotify that you could listen to, and it's Back in the USSR, all of them are Back in the USSR, I should say, and it's just 3 different versions. So first it's the new remix and remaster from Giles Martin, and the second one is the Escher demo. I've been saying Escher, and it's Escher, I found out, so I apologize if you heard me say Escher, it's Escher. The Escher demo of Back in the USSR, and then Back in the USSR, it's like an alternate take, or I think it's actually just the backing track without all the, like a bunch of different overdubs, so it sounds quite a bit different. But first, I will tell you that the new remix sounds phenomenal. It's crystal clear. There's so many great aspects of it that pop out at you that I'd never heard before. A lot of the guitars, for example, the lead guitars, you can hear a lot more of what they're originally playing than you could before. We have gotten a remix of Back in the USSR, just a little, like an edited version of it on the Love album, but this is now just the complete version that we're used to, and it's just great. One thing I will say that was kind of struck me as interesting is you could really hear the drums a lot better now, especially like the snare drum work, and man, you can tell it's not Ringo. Some of those fills are a little bit iffy, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming out of there, it's very Paul. Paul's a great drummer, but you can just, from this new remix and remaster, you can really hear it now. It's a little bit on the shaky side. It's not as solid as Ringo. Still works for the track. And also the vocals are just popping right out at you. Paul's lead vocal, and then the like Beach Boy type harmonies, really just, it's just great. And it's just making me so excited for the rest of the whole album to come out, and just to hear how they've done it. And then the alternate take is, and like I said, I don't know if it's an alternate. I don't think it's an alternate take. It's actually just the take they used, but you can just hear different things going on. There's no vocals. That's also very cool. And then the Escher demo of Back in the USSR, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard before. I've heard before. I have it on some bootlegs. Just the sound quality is improved just so much. It's like night and day. Sounds great. You know, what's funny though is, so let's now talk about the packaging, right? So there's the deluxe edition, which I think is 6 discs, right? So you get 2 discs of just the new remastered album, remixed, remastered, that's 2. Then you have 1 disc of the Escher demos, which sounds awesome. And then there's 3 discs of outtakes. So you can't go wrong with all that. Oh, and then there's an extra disc, which is a Blu-ray, and it has the high audio quality of the new remix, Esher demos, the mono mix of the album, which is really cool. I think something else is in there too, but I can't quite remember. Anyway, so that's the deluxe edition, which that's the one I'm going to be pre-ordering. Probably sometime this week I'll pre-order it. And I'll do it through Amazon again, because that's how I got my Sgt. Pepper box set, and it arrived no problem. So I think that's the path I'm going to take. So that's a set I'm looking forward to. And then there is a deluxe vinyl edition, which is 4 LPs, and it's the 2 remixed remastered album, and then it's the Esher demos. I think that's as a double record as well, so I think that's where you get the 4. And I think there's a couple of different variations too. There's just like the standard CD set, and something else I can't quite remember, but those 2 are the ones that I think I'm going to get. Definitely the deluxe edition with all the 6 CDs, and then the Blu-ray. And I'll probably later on get the 4 LP set as well. So now let's talk about what comes in the set. And like I said, I already talked about the remixed album. That's going to be fantastic. Now the extra stuff, the Esher demos, I do have to admit I'm not that excited about the Esher demos, just because we have almost all of that stuff, I think all of it, on bootleg and the Beatles Anthology 3. Granted, it's going to be in much better audio quality, and it's just, the fidelity is just going to be as good as it can get. So that's fantastic. That's totally welcome. I think it's great they're finally putting these out as a complete set. Very cool. But I'm just not that excited for them, just because I've heard them, you know what I'm saying? So, what I am excited for, though, especially, I love all the different outtakes. I love what they did with the Sgt. Pepper 50th anniversary, where they had all the outtakes. So amazing. I keep listening to those to this day. I listened to it yesterday. I listened to all the outtakes. It's so cool. So I'm really excited for the White Album outtakes, because it has some of my favorite songs. And in fact, I don't know if a lot of you have seen it yet. You probably have if you're a Beatle freak like I am, but they released, the Beatles on the YouTube channel released a video with Giles Martin and the other engineer, I can't think of his name right now, but who did all the work on this new 50th anniversary package. And the video is phenomenal. They play a bunch of different clips. One of my favorites being they play 3 different versions of Glass Onion. They play the Esher demo of it, which is cool. We've all heard that, but it sounds really great on the with the new remix and remaster. And then they play an early take that I've never heard, I don't think anyone's ever heard, with a John Lennon guide vocal, and it sounds really, really cool, really fascinating. It's totally got me interested in hearing what the other outtakes sound like. And then just the little clip they played of the actual remix of the song, the take that we all know, sounds great. So I'm just really excited for this set. I'm sure, I hope that's coming across in this video. I really think it's going to be great. The Beatles seem to always deliver a really fantastic product. I don't think they've ever really put out anything that was, you know, a bit of a letdown. It's always top quality, and I think this is exactly how the White Album is going to be. And I'm excited. I assume a lot of you are excited as well. Now, let's talk about I don't want to be too negative, because there's a lot of negativity just on YouTube in general, and a lot of times with like Beatle releases and stuff, people are always complaining about what's not there, how they would have done it, whatever, right? So I don't want to get too critical when it comes to that. The one thing I will say, which is kind of a bummer, that I did read, is that they're not including the 27-minute version, or I think it's 27 minutes, something like that. They're not including the long version of Helter Skelter. Now, I don't quite understand why, well actually, let me say that. I don't quite understand from just a standpoint of everyone wants it, they know everybody wants to hear this, why they wouldn't release it. That would make, it would be an ultimate pleaser for the fans, right? Now I kind of get why maybe they wouldn't want to release it. It's probably kind of sloppy, because it's 27 minutes long or however long it is. So any band playing for that amount of time can't be too precise when they're playing. And if you listen to any of like the Let It Be jams or whatever, you can just, the Beatles weren't really a jam band, so you can't really expect that much from it. And on top of that, I feel like maybe George Harrison's estate and John Lennon's estate don't want it to be out, just because maybe it doesn't contain some of the best playing that George ever did. They have their reasons, you know. On top of that, George Martin has gone on record as saying that he thinks that he thought that take of Helter Skelter was just a waste of time and no one would want to hear it. Granted, he's not the Beatle fanatic that we all are. And there's even a thing where Mark Lewison, the author, is talking about how he mentioned to George Martin, he asked him about that very take of Helter Skelter, and George Martin said, no one wants to hear that. And Mark Lewison said to him, no, they really do. It's like one of the treasured, lost Beatle takes that people want to hear. And George Martin just couldn't believe that anyone would want to waste their time listening to 27 minutes of Helter Skelter. So it's a little bit of a drag that we're not going to get that, but we are going to get, I believe, one of the earlier takes of Helter Skelter that is pretty long. I think it's like 10 minutes long, or maybe 8 to 10 minutes, something like that. Of that slow, kind of like bluesy version that they did an edited version of it on Anthology 3. So we're going to get the full version of that. So that's cool. That'll be very, very cool. But it is a shame we're not getting that full version of Helter Skelter. Although I kind of think, I don't know why, but I feel like maybe they'll release that full version of it in the future, like maybe as like a record store day thing or something, because there's just no way. They've talked about it so much in public. Paul's been asked about it, Ringo's been asked about it, George Martin's been asked about it. It's known that it exists, so I think there's got to be a time when that's released. Who knows when? I certainly don't. Anyway, that's my one criticism, is that it's not included, but that's okay. There are some other really cool things that are included, like an early version of Let It Be. That's going to be interesting to hear. A bunch of covers on there that I didn't know they even attempted during the White Album sessions. I think one's like Baby You're So Square, which is a Buddy Holly song. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I can't wait. So let me know in the comments below what you're excited for from this new White Album box set, and let me know which version you're going to be ordering. I'm definitely going with the deluxe 6 CD edition, and that's it for now. So I'm really excited about the White Album. I hope you are too. Let's show the inside gatefold, because why not? All right. There's only one of me here, folks. I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Well, bye.